9.26 Japan on the offensive and the Bataan Death March. The Japanese then turned their attention to the Philippines. In January 1942, they marched into the Philippine capital of Manila. American and Filipino forces took up a defensive position on the Bataan Peninsula on the northwestern edge of Manila Bay. At the same time, the Philippine government moved to the island of Corregidor just to the south of Bataan. After about 3 months of tough fighting, the Japanese took the Bataan Peninsula. The Japanese also continued their strikes against British possessions in Asia. After seizing Hong Kong, they invaded Malaya from the sea and overland from Thailand. By February 1942, the Japanese had reached Singapore, strategically located at the southern tip of the Malay Peninsula. After a fierce pounding, the colony surrendered. Within a month, the Japanese conquered the resource-rich Dutch East Indies, now Indonesia, including the islands of Java, Sumatra, Borneo, and Celebes. The Japanese also moved westward, taking Burma. From there, they planned to launch a strike against India, the largest of Great Britain's colonies. By the time Burma fell, Japan had taken control of more than 1 million square miles of Asian land. About 150 million people lived in this area. The Japanese often treated the people of their new colonies with extreme cruelty. However, the Japanese reserved the most brutal treatment for Allied prisoners of war. The Japanese considered it dishonorable to surrender, so they had contempt for the prisoners of war in their charge. After the fall of the Philippines, 70,000 American and Filipino soldiers surrendered. On the Bataan Death March, a forced march of more than 50 miles up the peninsula, the Japanese subjected their captives to terrible cruelties. POWs were beaten, shot, or stabbed for trying to drink water from a canteen. Anyone who fell behind was killed. Only 54,000 survived to be used for slave labor for the duration of the war.